All right. Oh my goodness. I am exhausted. Now, I have another behaviorist that I need to deal with. So, sorry for everybody who look forward to a change up. I'm still responding to these people who are making their rounds through the media. Now, I have to admit that with some of these media outlets, some of these journalists, some of them come across as people who are not fans of bully breeds. I have to be honest with that one. Many of them do. They come across as people who are not fans of bully breeds. And this lady is one of those people. This is crazy how these people really need to be monitored, and responses need to be made to the things that they're saying badly. But they're getting on these media outlets and they're saying a bunch of reckless things that's not being corrected. Because maybe that's the whole point, just to give these people a voice. And they pull people out of nowhere. They just grab random behaviorists from anywhere. They'll find them on Facebook or Instagram, send them an email, bring them to the show. Just any old behaviorist will work. Well, they reached out to this lady, Rosie, who is an animal behaviorist. And they asked her, or basically gave her an opportunity to defend the Bully XL. Now, as I've been saying, this whole thing is a circus. This whole banning of the Bully XL is political stunt on part of the political people there in the UK trying to look good, trying to make themselves look like they're morally superior and morally upright. Look at what I did. Look at how much I care. I banned the Bully XL. Well, they all know full well that all bully breeds should be banned, along with many other of the large, dangerous breeds. And all large dogs are dangerous. You don't waver a bit. Now listen to this woman.
Media frenzy yet again. And I think it's exactly the same as what happened.
Now you hear what she said? So you see how they titled this, that the behaviorist has a clash with the host, the journalist. And that is because as soon as this woman, the behaviorist, as soon as she starts talking, she starts to attack the media. As soon as she starts talking, she attacks the media. So there was a bit of a confrontation here, but you judge for yourself.
My thoughts are this is a knee-jerk reaction to a media frenzy yet again. And I think it's exactly the same as what happened in 1991 when the Pit Bull Terriers attacked the same number of people. It also attacked around 11 people and killed around 11 people. And yet again, they had a sudden media frenzy about these dogs, and the government acted very, very rashly and created this law that has unfortunately not been effective over this time.
Yeah, it has not been effective because they did not ban all bully breeds. She's trying to talk as if banning these bully breed, the Pit Bull Terrier, those 4 breeds that were banned in the UK. We all know that those are only 4 bully breeds out of many. And I have no idea why it was just that 4 that was banned.
Well, that has unfortunately not been effective over this time.
See, her and other behaviors, they're trying to project this idea that bans don't work and This proves that they don't work. That when they went, no, what it proves is that you implemented an ineffective ban, an ineffective policy. That's what that proves. It does not prove that removing the dogs doesn't solve the problem. And you know what, you imbecile, you will never prove that. So just go ahead and shut up right now. Don't even waste my time. Don't waste our time.
Afterwards, when they looked at the statistics of the dogs that were biting people before the law was brought in, they found that German Shepherds were more responsible than Pit Bull Terriers. And subsequently, when they looked at the 10 years following the DDA being brought about, they found that it hadn't impacted fatalities. Fatalities have gone up, as had the number of Pit Bull Terriers in existence, as had the bite statistics.
And that's why the bite statistics went up. Duh! Did you hear what she just said? Let me back this up.
10 years following the DDA being...
So she's saying 10 years after the ban was put in place, follow what she says here.
10 years following the DDA being brought about, they found that it hadn't impacted fatalities. Fatalities have gone up.
Yeah, there was no change. Fatalities went up. That's because you only banned 4 bully breeds and allowed people to have the others. And yeah, after 10 years, the overall population of bully breeds is going to increase. And you're going to have more attacks and more fatalities than you had before you implemented that worthless ban.
As had the number of Pit Bull Terriers in existence, as had the bite statistics. I've also been appalled by the media and how they've used statistics from Facebook and from...
So here she is attacking the media again. And this is why the journalist fired back at her. So she's taking another shot at the media. She just sat here and said, I've always been appalled at the media.
I've also been appalled by the media and how they've used statistics from Facebook.
I don't ever remember the media, any media outlet, showing statistics from Facebook. What is she talking about? Again, I've made a lot of accusations against these pit bull advocates. One being that they have a low IQ and that they are perpetual liars, pathological liars. This is why I say that. And a lot of people say that. Do you believe her? Do you believe her? Sound like a liar to me.
Had the bite statistics. I've also been appalled by the media and how they've used statistics from Facebook and from polls in The Guardian and quoted them as if they're scientific primary literature, which they're not.
Okay, so where's your scientific primary literature? Where are your statistics? Y'all don't deal with statistics at all. So don't criticize the statistics that other people use when you refuse to even deal with them at all. Y'all refuse to even respond to them. What are you talking about? Talking as if behaviorists are in a position to talk. Get out of here. Yeah, we use statistics, and you still haven't explained the statistics. Bully breeds produce a disproportionate statistics when it comes to attacks, and y'all still haven't explained why. So yeah, you sound like a person who runs from debates and discussions about statistics.
Statistics from Facebook and from polls in The Guardian and quoted them as if they're scientific primary literature, which they're not. And when we look at the primary scientific literature, we see a completely different story being painted.
No, we don't see no completely different story being painted. We see the same thing that the statistics say. When we look at all sources of statistics, woman, you really don't want to have this discussion. When we look at all sources of statistics, we find the exact same thing. Bully breeds lead in attacks, severe attacks, hospitalizations, and fatalities. Now, what are you talking about? What planet you getting this information from, you imbecile? I didn't even want to respond to another one of these idiots. But I hope you can see why this particular idiot motivated me. Wow.
I mean, you say you're appalled by the media. You talk about knee jerks and media frenzies. But what we're reporting today is a 52-year-old man who is being killed.
Now you hear that? Oh, grab the popcorn. We have a fight. we have a fight. The journalist was like, hold on. What'd you say about the media? What's all this stuff you was just talking about? The media this, media that. The journalist had to bring it back. Like, okay, you said a lot about the media. Let's deal with that. Listen to this.
Media. You talk about...
Oh, it is about to get it. Oh, Liz, wait a minute. Let me make sure everything is good. Yeah, I'll crank up the volume a little bit for this one. Oh, boy. All right, here we go.
And when we look at the primary scientific literature, we see a completely different story being painted.
I mean, you say you're appalled by the media. You talk about knee-jerks and media frenzies. But what we're reporting today is a 52-year-old man who has been killed by a dog. And it's the dog, we think it's the dog next door. We think the two dogs that were being kept by a family living next door to this man and his very elderly mother, from what we understand, escaped into their house and garden, attacked his elderly mother with such savageness that he had to intervene in order to try to save his own elderly mother's life. And then the 52-year-old man lost his own life. Now, you tell me where there's a media frenzy in simply doing as I'm doing, which is regurgitating the bare facts. I've given no opinion. I haven't ramped it up. I haven't used a single adjective. Nobody can accuse me of having reported it in a tabloid manner. All I have given you is the barest possible repetition of the facts as we know them, without embroidery, opinion, conjecture, or anything else. How can that be a media frenzy, and how can that be in any way something that you would want to criticize?
Oh boy, round 3. That was the end. That's the conclusion of round 2. Oh boy, journalists came out swinging. The journalist came out swinging. The pit nutter got up there running her mouth. Thought she was about to put the journalist in check. Yeah. Wag her little crooked nutter finger. Well, the journalist came out with the boxing gloves on. Oh, no, you didn't. No, you didn't say that. What'd you say about the media? Came out swinging. Oh, boy. Now, y'all heard that? Y'all caught that? The journalist asked her a very simple question. Woman, what do you mean media frenzy? All we do is report what happened. Your stupid dogs run out and rip somebody's face off across the street, and we, the media, simply tell the public. Somebody got their face ripped off. They went out to get their mail and got their throats ripped out. Some kid got his face ripped off. What are you attacking us for when we reporting the behavior of your dogs? Woman, what are you talking about? So the journalist, you already know I'm on the side of the journalist here. Okay, I'm very critical of the media, of journalists. But when they get it right, they get it right. And now in this particular discussion, I am on the side of the media because these nutters, they do have a very weak argument with that they have against the media, that they whip up propaganda against these mutants. Now listen to her answer. Journalist asked a simple question. What do? We just report what your dumb dogs do. If your stupid dogs wouldn't go out attacking people, we wouldn't report on them. So what is you talking about? Now listen to her answer.
Be a media frenzy, and how can that be in any way something that you would want to criticize?
Well, firstly, when we look back at the statistics and the studies that we have on this, there was a huge study of around 250 deaths by dogs, and they found that despite the fact that 90% of those were reported by the media as a specific breed.
Now, are you following what she's saying? The ending. Oh man, this is the ending of this nutter culture, man. You bully breed advocates, you are really falling on your face now, man. You thought you were going to get away with it because you depended on the public's ignorance of bully breeds. That's what you did. I hope y'all following this. Is everything okay? I got to make sure everything's good. I hope y'all following this. Let me back this up a little bit.
Death by dogs, and they found that despite the fact that 90% and 50 deaths have on this, there was a huge back at at the statistics and the studies that we have on this, there was a huge study of around 250 deaths by dogs, and they found that despite the fact that
there was no huge study. She don't know what she talking about. That's why she couldn't refer you to nothing. Wasn't no study. Now listen to what she says.
By dogs, and they found that despite the fact that 90% of those were reported by the media as a specific breed, as is being done on this television program.
90% of the dogs reported by the media as being a pit bull, but she didn't specifically say pit bull. She sat here and said specific breed. She said despite it, 90% of them were of a specific breed, but she didn't say what specific breed it was. Another clue that she's just pulling stuff out of the air. Making stuff up, probably.
And the studies that we have on this, there was a huge study of around 250 deaths by dogs, and they found that despite the fact that 90% of those were reported by the media as
what?
Specific breed.
As us, specific. Us. What specific breed? What specific breed you talking about? A specific breed. I don't remember. Idiot. She don't remember the breed. But continue.
As a specific breed, as is being done on this television program, only 18% of those were actually identified as that breed in the end.
Only 18% of them were that actual specific breed. Now, we all understand the argument she's trying to put forth. She's trying to say her answer to what this lady said was, hey, y'all misidentify them. And I'm telling y'all right now, no, the media does not. I have to have a moment where I defend the media here. No, the media does not misidentify these bully breeds. See, what happened is the media was saying pit bull. They were using the phrase pit bull. And they've done this several times. They did the research and found that the dogs that carried out the attacks were not actually pit bulls, but they were bully breeds. They were Staffordshire Terriers. They were these other terriers. They have always been, they are always bully breeds. They always accurately identify it as a fighting breed. They may say pit bull, and that might, but we don't care, and it doesn't matter. The style in which these killer dogs have mutated is irrelevant. I don't care that one breed's nose mutated to be more smashed in than another. They're all bully breeds. So that was pathetic. That was a pathetic response to what this journalist said. She said, what are we doing? Your dog's attacked, we report it. Well, you say they're pit bulls. They're not. They're Staffordshire. You idiot. That's why I call y'all names. You the one sitting here behaving like it. And I hope you got enough brains to understand what I just said, what I just explained here. Lord.
As is being done on this television program, only 18% of those were actually identified as that breed in the end. And these dogs have not been identified as American XL bullies yet.
And she said that these dogs that have carried out the attacks that we're aware of, she's saying that they have not been identified as XL bullies. Yes, they have. Yes, they have. That's why they've actually banned the XL bully. Woman, what you talking about? And you know what else they've accurately identified? The fact that they are pit bulls. They are all bully breeds. And all of the fighting breeds are the bully breeds, and they all need to be banned. Okay, so this behaviorist is doing the typical con, deception, liar, scam, and it's not working.
Have they? And so we shouldn't really be reporting on them as such because they haven't been identified. Identification of breed is incredibly complicated.
No, it's not incredibly complicated. It might get a little complicated trying to distinguish between the bully breeds, But bully breeds are quite easy to identify. Nope. That does not work. All right, try again. Lie. Nothing complicated about it at all. She's just reaching for anything to use in defense of dogs.
XL bullies yet, have they? And so we shouldn't really be reporting on them as such because they haven't been identified. Identification of breed is incredibly complicated. I do it as an expert witness for law, and it's incredibly difficult to do. And it doesn't actually have much bearing. We know that strong muscular dogs are more capable of these things. We know that these...
What? If it's so difficult to identify them, then why are you so dead set against the ban? Why don't you trust that people are not able to identify them anyway? Hey, ban away. I'm the expert. You're supposed to be the expert. And you said it's difficult for you to do it. So what you worried about the general public for? And it's only one bully breed. So what's your problem? You can just get a different type of bully breed. The Pit Bull Lobby sent her out here to be a talking head, a mouthpiece for them. The thing is, they're riding on a bunch of flimsy rhetoric.
Expert witness for law, and it's incredibly difficult to do. And it doesn't actually have much bearing. We know that strong muscular dogs are more capable of these things. We know that these tragedies sadly do occur. They always have done. And as poverty increases, they always increase in every country, across time, across space. Now, the Bully XL...
Poverty? She all over the place. What are you trying to blame poverty? What are you talking about? This is desperation, where she's just throwing out and saying anything in hopes that something will stick or that as much will stick as possible.
Much bearing. We know that strong muscular dogs are more capable of these things.
Yeah, and that's why they all should be banned. All the strong, big, strong, muscular dogs should be banned.
I know that these tragedies sadly do occur. They always have done. And as poverty increases, they always increase in every country, across time, across space. Now, the Bully XL is just another breed that's become popularised since 2018. And so, yes, as a strong muscular breed, it is now responsible for more of those deaths. But when...
Oh, it's responsible for the majority of deaths because it's the most popular right now? That don't fly either. Because again, even though the population of the XL Bully has grown faster than the other breeds, there are still more of several other breeds there in the UK. And those other breeds that outnumber the Bully XL do not outnumber the Bully XL in the statistics. So people like me, everyday people, we're the only one pointing this type of stuff out. These clear and obvious holes, and they're even making mathematical holes, whatever.
And again, we look statistically, we see that more people fall off their roof and die when they're doing DIY, but we're not really reporting on that, are we? We see that more people, significantly, I think dog deaths correspond to around 0.002% of people killed by people who are drunk driving, but we're not reporting those deaths, even though a lot of those are children, a lot of those are savages.
Well, hang on a minute. I mean, if you're accusing the media of a media frenzy, let me interrupt you to say, drunk driving is against the law. If you're driving drunk and you cause an accident, you'll end up being imprisoned. If you fall off your own roof, then that's a hazard that you have entertained by climbing on the roof in the first place. But if next door's dog comes, jumps up onto your roof and pushes you off the roof, and that's why you die, it's a whole different ballgame.
Now, so basically, the journalists just sat here and put one of their favorite talking points and narratives on blast. And that is the way that these nutters point out how people get hurt doing other things. So it should be acceptable to bring wild, mutated beasts into communities and give them just as much freedom as a human being. Oh, check the logic of the pit nutter here. Oh, hey, doesn't this justify the series of the low IQ for the pit nutters? Here the pit nutter on national television up here saying, hey, people fall off roofs every day. People trip and fall every day. So why should we ban XL bullies? Why shouldn't we be allowed to bring creatures more powerful than us into the neighborhood? Okay.
Right, but the minutiae of identifying specific breeds is definitely, as you quite rightly say, very technical. It's very complex, and we understand that. Everybody remembers, Staffordshire Bull type terriers, pit bull type dogs. Which dogs should wear muzzles? Very difficult to tell what kind of a dog is it specifically. Everybody remembers all of that. That's been going on for years and years. But in this instance, is it or is it not true? Because it certainly was, according to the animal behaviourist I spoke to on the programme earlier this week, whose first name was Stan, and they're going to give me the rest of his name so I can identify him, because I did interview him only on Monday, I think it was. And he said that these American Bully XL dogs are specifically bred to be attack dogs. That's what they're for. They are kind of murdering machines. They are not suitable to be family pets. They are not suitable to be kept in ordinary homes. They're not suitable just to be on ordinary residential streets or in gardens or in homes in this country. His name is Stan Rawlinson, and he was my guest on Monday. And he, too, is an adorer of dogs. He couldn't be more of a lover of dogs. That is his career. That is his profession. And he said, unfortunately, this particular breed is absolutely unsuitable as a pet and should be banned.
I don't think that there's any disagreement within the professional dog community that there are certain breeds that are significantly worse choices for pet homes, and I would definitely agree with him.
Worse choices for pet homes? Some dogs are worse. Okay.
Definitely agree with him.
Whoa. Let's hear that again.
I don't think that there's any disagreement within the professional dog community that there are certain breeds that are significantly worse.
So certain breeds that are significantly worse
choices for pet homes.
Okay. So she just sat here and admitted to breed-specific behavioral traits. Did she not? She just sat here and admitted to breed-related differences as it relates to the threat of attack, danger, right? The hazard level is associated with its breed. She just sat here and admitted that. And then when it's convenient to them, they want to say breed is irrelevant.
Choices for pet homes. And I would...
Why is it a worse choice for what is a pet home? I suppose that means a family home, a home where there's a family. Why are these dogs worse choices? Why are they more dangerous of a choice? These people are just lunatics. And like I said, we lose brain cells and we lose our own mind when we entertain discussions with people like this. Big, dumb, brainless, airheaded, nutter, dingbat. Shut your stupid mouth. These things are killers. Pets are not supposed to kill you. Listen, if you don't understand, who cares? Nobody cares what you think at this point. We all know what these things are. Brainless, inbred, mutated, giant, powerful killers. And we know that people like you are incapable of controlling them. You cannot physically control them. So don't try to say that it should be acceptable for you to be in possession of them if you live next door to me. If you own one of these things and you live next door to me, I'm going to view you as my enemy. Because every time myself and my family step outside our front door, our lives going to be in danger because you, just like an airheaded, low IQ imbecile, in possession of a mutant more powerful than your own stupid self. There ain't an argument on this planet you could offer me that would make it sound reasonable for you to be in possession of that thing. Over there on your property, in your house, you endangering the whole community. Woman, shut up. These goofballs running around here, man. This ain't rocket science. They trying to make this all complicated. Get out of here. Stupid idiot.
Profession, and he said, unfortunately, this particular breed is absolutely unsuitable as a pet and should be banned.
I don't think that there's any disagreement within the professional dog community that there are certain breeds that are significantly worse choices for pet homes, and I would definitely agree with him that the American XL Bully is on that list, along with Malinois, along with Huskies, along with working line German Shepherds.
You exactly right. You exactly right. And they should all be banned. All the ones you just named. The Huskies, all these large dogs should all be banned as well. But right now, you're talking about the Bully XL right now. So the discussion is about the dogs that produce disproportionate statistics. So if the subject now is about dogs that produce disproportionate attack statistics, then you're talking about the Bully XL. And you're talking about all of the other bully breeds. And you're right, they should be banned too.
A lot of these dogs are big and powerful, and they don't make the best pets. They're a lot of hard work. They require so much training and so much socialization to be
so much training and so much socialization to make them not want to rip people's faces off, to make them not want to attack people just randomly, unprovoked. That's why they should be banned. Right? Thank you for making the case against dogs yourself. Oh, why should they be banned, IHD? Well, listen to what she said. Because
socialization to be enjoyed.
Say it again, ma'am.
Pets. They're a lot of hard work. They require so much training and so much socialization to
not kill people. That's why.
To be enjoyed, really.
To be enjoyed. She said they require so much training and socialization just to be enjoyed. That sounds like a horrible, hideous. Who in the world would want whatever you're talking about? I don't want it. You idiot. It take all this training and socialization so that it don't randomly attack people, including babies. What are you talking about? That's why we're banning it. And you not understanding why they're being banned and being aware of the things that you're aware of right now, you should be backhanded, put in a straitjacket, and locked up yourself. I don't know why these media outlets be bringing these crazy lunatics onto these talk shows, giving them a platform, basically giving them free publicity. Don't even give them a platform. Just giving these people a voice comes across to me like the media outlet being on their team. Because like I said, this whole Bully XL ban is a farce.
To ensure that their welfare needs are met and their biological itches are scratched. However, that doesn't mean we should ban them. Firstly, because it's not effective. It's not an effective way. It's going to be whack-a-mole. What happened when we banned the pit bull?
It is effective, woman. What are you talking about? Did you hear what she said? Right now, this woman right here, who's supposed to be an expert, she is just being a meth head right now. She's being no different from a meth head right now. Even though she might be sober right now, this is meth head mode. She's gone into crackhead, dopehead mode where she knows that she has no clue what she's talking about, but she's just saying stuff that she thinks sound good. I'm telling you, that's what she's doing right now.
Training and so much socialization to be enjoyed, really, and to ensure that their welfare needs are met and their biological itches are scratched.
That their needs are met and biological itches are scratched. To ensure that the dog's needs and biological itches are scratched, they require a bunch of training and socialization. So we have to train the dogs so that the dog's needs is met. Boy, these people get off on being a slave to dogs. But if you don't get out my face with this nonsense, you dog freak. Boy, these are people laying up with dogs, man. What are you talking about? Why don't you go jump off a bridge for dogs too while you at it? Since we supposed to do all this crazy stuff for dogs.
and they don't make the best pets. They're a lot of hard work. They require so much training and so much socialization to be enjoyed, really, and to ensure that their welfare needs are met and that their biological itches are scratched. However, that doesn't mean we should ban them. Firstly, because it's not effective. It's not an effective way. It's going to be whack-a-mole. What happened when we banned the pit bull? They just bred the Bully XL. What happens when we ban the Bully XL? There'll just be a long-haired version or a pointy-eared version.
You're exactly right. So another behaviorist gets up here and makes the case as to why we should ban all bully breeds, not just the Bully XL. All right? That's all she's doing right now, is explaining exactly why all bully breeds should be banned, not just the Bully XL. Okay, and the math says that as well. Okay, but as it stands, she's still losing that argument because the Bully XL produces disproportionate statistics, allegedly, even compared to other bully breeds. So, which is crazy, completely crazy.
It's going to be whack-a-mole.
But notice how this lady is not talking about the victims. No compassion at all. She's not concerned with safety at all.
What happened when we banned the pit bull? They just bred the Bully XL. What happens when we ban the Bully XL? There'll just be a long-haired version or a pointy-eared version or another version of a dog. There are thousands and thousands. There's more variation in dog breeds than there are in any other species on the planet.
Not because they're mutants. No, they're just different mutations of mutants. That's all it is.
Breed a different version of it. Where there is demand, there will be supply.
All right, Joe, I'm going to stop you there because I have another guest sitting here and he wants to intervene, and I'm going to let him.
Well, hi. I just want to ask you, Joe. I mean, you're saying we can't ban it because of all these reasons. You know, there'll be other breeds and so on, but we clearly have a problem here. Is it your position that we just have to accept dog deaths? We have to accept dogs killing people, completely innocent people, in their gardens and homes, just as a fact of life. Surely there must be something the government can do. So what is it?
So this guy right here sounds like he's in the pocket of the pit lobbyist too, with a question like that. Asking her like she's some highly intelligent savior. What's the answer? What should the government... That we don't have to ask her that. We know what the answer is. Remove the dogs. It's that simple. Now listen to what this woman says.
And homes, just as a fact of life. Surely there must be something the government can do. So what is it?
Yeah. So I think that one of the things we can do is put a cap on how much it costs to buy a dog. I think putting a cap so that dogs, I don't know, maybe we say £500. You're only allowed to breed dogs for £500 because part of the problem with these dogs is they go for a substantial amount of money. And
do y'all think that will keep people safe? She's saying right now the Bully XL goes for a lot of money, and that the way to keep people safe is to put a cap on how much they cost. Oh yeah, just magically. You'll have a Bully XL with you, and because you only paid $300 rather than $600, the dog just magically won't attack you. Okay, I never thought of that. Hey, lady, hats off to you. I never thought of that. I guess somehow the dog will be aware that you paid less for it. The dog will be aware that, there was a cap on how much the owner was allowed to spend. And for whatever reason, the Bully XL itself will decide not to attack. Because if it decides to attack, this woman would not be able to stop it. Nobody would be able to stop it. And she never gets around to explaining how people are supposed to be able to stop these things when they attack.
And there's a lot of inbreeding for these particular breeds, and that causes problems with aggression.
There's lots of inbreeding with all the bully breeds. That's what makes them the bully breed that they are. They're more mutated. That's why their aggression levels is higher. It's not just the Bully XL, lady, you're right. It's the Bully XL and all the other breeds. That's why I say these so-called anti-dog people, these are not true anti-dog people. These sound like people who are on the side of the pit bull lobby.
massive breeding problem in this country when it comes to breeding dogs. And I think if we were to put a cap on how much dogs cost, I think that would make a huge difference, as well as import and export.
How is that supposed to make a difference? How is how much you spend on it supposed to make the dog harmless? How is that supposed to make them harmless? The goal here is to have a harmless pet, you dingbat. What about that don't you understand, you suspected meth head dingbat? Nothing less than a safe pet around babies, toddlers is acceptable. These things are talked about as being in the same home and living with babies and toddlers. So the goal is harmlessness, safety. That don't keep nobody safe, dingbat. Shut your meth head mouth.
I'd make a huge difference, as well as import and export, so that only certain types of dog are able to. Secondly, I lived in Spain for 7 years, and in Spain we have a license for dogs over a certain weight. So if you want a dog over a certain weight, you have to show that you have the physical capacity to hold that dog by going to the doctor and having tests done, and you have to show that you have the hand.
So she says bring back a license. And that when you get a license, you have to go to a doctor and have tests done. And the doctor will find out if you're physically capable of restraining that dog. When was this ever done, people? And how do y'all think that would work? Because that would mean none of the owners like you would be able to own a Bully XL or any other bully breed, because you're not strong enough to handle these things. Secondly, it's not all about physical strength. When these things run outside of doors, car doors, front doors, patio doors, when they crawl under fences, when they leap over fences, when they slip through cracks of fences, when they bust through screen doors and attack someone, they're not attacking him because the owner wasn't strong enough. They're attacking him because this thing got a brain of its own and it has no place in society. Period, woman. Shut your meth head mouth. You toothless fiend. Shut up. These people making me crazy.
Dog by going to the doctor and having tests done, and you have to show that you have
tests done. Ain't no test a doctor can run on you to tell you, oh yeah, you're capable of restraining an XL bully. I mean, shut up. Lord, what type of cocaine are you sniffing?
Export, so that only certain types of dog are able to. Secondly, I lived in Spain for 7 years, and in Spain we have a license for dogs over a certain weight. So if you want a dog over a certain weight, you have to show that you have the physical capacity to hold that dog by going to the doctor and having tests done, and you have to show that you have the hand-eye coordination to be able to respond if that dog was to
gotta show that you have an hand-eye coordination. So what, the doctor will toss a tennis ball at you, and if you can catch it, oh good, you can restrain a dog, a Bully XL. Shut up, lady. Yeah, you might be able to catch a ball if I throw it at you. That don't mean you can magically restrain a pit bull. Boy, these people are all, this is desperation if I've ever seen it. And that's why they bring these people onto these shows.
By doing specific psychometric testing.
Oh. Test your hand-eye coordination by doing specific psychometric testing. She's throwing all these long words out here, trying to sound all sophisticated. Oh, listen to this. It's all a bunch of crackhead, meth head nonsense.
You have to show that you have the physical capacity to hold that dog by going to the doctor and having tests done. And you have to show that you have the hand.
That is so worthless. Even the people who get the license would be worthless at protecting the general public from these dogs. But most people would acquire the dogs and give the license their middle finger. And we all know it. That's not a solution. So wrong again.
Hand-eye coordination to be able to respond if that dog was to react by doing specific psychometric testing. You then have to get the dog temperament tested, and you have to carry...
She said you'll then have to get the dog temperament tested. Another failed argument. So now you know they're desperate when they're talking about temperament tests. Oh, but temperament tests. What about the temperament test? Well, that temperament test has been debunked through and through. Any behaviorists get up talking about a temperament test, you know all their information is outdated. This woman got up here and demonstrated that all the information she got stored in her head is outdated rhetoric that dog culture critics debunked long time ago.
Carry a muzzle on you, although you don't have...
Hear what else she said? Listen to this.
Certain weight, you have to show that you have the physical capacity to hold that dog by going to the doctor and having tests done. And you have to show that you have the hand-eye coordination to be able to respond if that dog was to react by doing specific psychometric testing. You then have to get the dog temperament tested, and you have to carry a muzzle on you, although you don't have to actually wear a muzzle because there's been lots of studies that show that that can make behavior worse. And it would...
So you have to carry a muzzle with you. But you don't have to put the muzzle onto the dog. Because there's been studies that shown that putting muzzles on dogs will make them more aggressive. That's what she just said. So what's the point in carrying the muzzle if you're not going to put it on the dog? What do you put the muzzle on the dog only after it bites somebody? Is that the point in carrying the muzzle with you, but not putting it on the dog's mouth? Maybe, once again, I'm confused and I just don't understand. What's the point in carrying a muzzle?
Respond if that dog was to react by doing specific psychometric testing. You then have to get the dog temperament tested, and you have to carry a muzzle on you, although you don't have to actually wear a muzzle because there's been lots of studies that show that that can make behavior worse. And it would penalize a lot of people who have fantastic dogs.
And putting a muzzle on the dogs would penalize people who have fantastic dogs. Ma'am, the whole point of the muzzle is so that those fantastic dogs never turn into horrible dogs. She didn't know that. You think she knew that? Oh, but what about the people who have fantastic dogs? So these are the people who are they bringing on to these media outlets to spew this brainless, rubbish, dangerous, very dangerous rhetoric. Their politicians don't care. Nobody cares. The doctors, you don't hear doctors out here talking about this, bringing attention to this stuff. You know, you got people like me, a blue-collar worker. Where are the behaviorists? Where are the psychologists? Where are the police officers? Where are the attorneys? Where are all of you saying all these things that I'm saying? How come y'all not bringing attention to this? Because y'all all in on this sick little devilish sacrificial blood sacrifice nonsense yourself. Bunch of demonic devilish lunatics. Make me sick. Curse you all. Curse you all. Shout out to everybody able to join me for this live stream, and I hope to see you back on the next as we continue with this crusade.